Hey YouTube, it's ICU, and today we have a new jailbreak update. It's been a while, but we're going to talk about what's next in the world of jailbreaking and whether we can still expect a new untethered utility for iOS 9.3.x. But first, before I get into that, the actual item of my new giveaway has been chosen. So we're going to be giving away a brand new 9.7-inch iPad Pro. You guys voted on that over the iPhone SE, and I believe that the iPad Pro won just by 20 votes. So if you're excited about that, it's going to be coming soon. I'm going to announce details in the next couple of days on how to win a brand new iPad Pro. Just be sure to rate this video up, and also let me know down below in the comment section why you want an iPad Pro. Now let's go ahead and get straight into today's video. So what's happened? Well, unfortunately nothing direct, so we have yet to hear word from TaiG or Pangu, but there are some things that have gone on that will influence the release of the next untethered jailbreak. So most notably recently, iOS 9.3.2 Beta 1 was issued, and I shouldn't say too recently because it was on April 6th. Of course, today is April 19th. So Apple released a new beta for an upcoming iOS 9.3.x firmware. Why is that important? Well, because jailbreak developers are going to wait until iOS 9.3.x is as stable as possible, and it looks like 9.3.2 may be one of the last updates to iOS 9 before iOS 10 is released to the public. I've been saying it for a while. At some point, Apple is going to cease development of iOS 9. And how do we know this? That's because they're focusing on iOS 10. So yesterday, WWDC 2016 was officially confirmed. This is Apple's own website here. And as you can see, it discusses purchasing tickets for WWDC. And if we actually go to Apple's main announcement screen, we're going to switch to that right now. Apple's WWDC, short for Worldwide Developers Conference, will start on June 13th and it will run through June 17th. So why is that important to jailbreaking? Well, for those of you who are new to the world of iOS, each year Apple holds this WWDC or Developers Conference, and they announce what's next for both iOS as well as OS 10, which may very well be renamed to Mac OS now, but we're not going to get off topic. Again, iOS 10 will be announced on June 13th, meaning Apple has already started to allocate the majority of their development resources toward iOS 10, and that's probably why we haven't seen another iOS 9.3.2 beta or the public version just yet, though we can expect a public release of 9.3.2 very soon. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get iOS 9.3.2 beta 2 and we just move straight into the public release, again further stabilizing iOS 9.3.x, and that will be the absolute most opportune moment for the jailbreak developers to pounce and release the next untethered jailbreak utility. So if you happen to miss any of my more recent jailbreak updates, I highly recommend watching through them, because a lot of what I'm talking about in today's video I actually mentioned previously and I foresaw coming, such as iOS 10, as well as a few other things like iOS 9.3.2 and the stabilization of 9.3.x in general. I will have a card up on your screens right now, and if you want to just click on that, you can be taken directly to this playlist. There's some awesome information in said playlist. Definitely watch through it. Now, one last thing I wanted to talk about in today's video is iOS 9.3. We're switching on over here to ipsw.me, which is a great website for just downloading IPSWs or firmware files for different iDevices. So what we're going to do is just tap on the iPad Pro 12.9-inch, and I'm going to show you guys that iOS 9.3.1 is the only public firmware that's currently being signed. Now, I use ipsw.me just to see whether or not a firmware is in fact being signed, and as you can see, iOS 9.3 as of yesterday is no longer being signed. So iOS 9.3.1 is the only firmware that you can currently restore to, unless you were to go to iOS 9.3.2 public beta or the actual developer beta if you are enrolled in Apple's developer program. So this just further solidifies that Apple is moving to stabilization with iOS 9.3.x, and that they're likely going to issue 9.3.2 in the foreseeable future as they start to move on to iOS 10. So that about wraps up everything I wanted to discuss in today's video. Of course, I'm going to keep you guys completely updated as we move forward and as new developments occur in the world of iOS and jailbreaking. Remember, things always change, and what may may work today may not work tomorrow for Jailbreak developers. That's why we have yet to receive an iOS 9.3 jailbreak. Same thing can be said for iOS 9.3.1 because of Apple's new moves with iOS 9.3.x and their push into stabilization. One thing I also wanted to kind of wrap up with here is to not lose hope. I can't tell you how many individuals preach that this is the end of jailbreaking every single year over and over again for new iterations of iOS. In fact, here's a screenshot from Mac Rumors in 2013. This individual took to the Mac Rumors forums to suggest that iOS 7 was the end of jailbreaking and that jailbreaking was dead at that point. Of course, in retrospect, we now know that we did receive a number of iOS 8 and 9 jailbreak utilities in between then and now, and the same thing can likely be said as we start to move forward. We will, of course, continue to receive new jailbreaks, and jailbreak developers will continue to liberate us from vanilla iOS. So don't forget to smash that like button if you're excited for the next untethered jailbreak. Also, let me know what you are most looking forward to as far as tweaks are concerned down below in the comment section. And remember, if you want to be updated absolutely every step of the way, just be sure to click that subscribe button below next to my channel name. It's my job to keep you guys updated from everything related to new iOS updates to certain things and factors that will more heavily influence jailbreaking. Of course, to be notified even more often, like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And until next time, this is ICU signing out. Join the iCrackUriDevice community on Patreon to help out the channel and to be featured in videos similar to these top contributors. Click the link on your screens now if you're on desktop, or check below.